Welcome to a brand new episode of Inspire with me, Pratik. Today, in our episode, we have the privilege of unveiling a legacy that spans across generations. The remarkable journey of Nikhil Ballal, a true Thanekar, a third generation entrepreneur from the Ballal family. Today, we will talk about this journey that seamlessly blends the art of journalism with his passion for community upliftment. From the pages of Thane Vaibhav, Thane's oldest Marathi daily newspaper, which was started by his late grandfather, Mr. Narendra Ballal, to his innovative initiatives like Know Your Town magazine that Nikhil has spearheaded, his story is a living testament to the power of media, legacy, and impact. Very rarely I have met someone who takes part and continues their family legacy so positively and have taken them to new heights. So today's episode is all about how to run a newspaper business in this hustling world of digital media. What does it take to make things work for a legacy business? How does family and relationships help you in the legacy businesses? Also, what is the power of positive impact in a society, and so much more. So, if you are a Thane resident, a true Thanekar, an aspiring journalist, or someone who believes in the power of positive change, you are in the right place. So, enjoy this episode and don't forget to click the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you'll get all the future updates to this video, as well as we will be uploading a lot of shorts and clips from this episode, so you'll get all the insights from this fantastic episode. So let's dive into the podcast. So Nikhil, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I need to ask you this. You have taken more than 200 interviews, right, in KYT. How does it feel to get interviewed personally this time, sitting on the other side of the chair?
So that's a very different experience altogether. And I was very surprised when you contacted me, because it is usually I who contact others.
Right.
And I who interview people. I was very, very surprised and very excited to give this interview. So first of all, let me congratulate you for doing a great job. It is a need of the hour, because people need such inspiring stories. People want to hear such kind of a content, want to see such kind of a content. And there are about 4 or 5 episodes which you have done so far, and all have been really good.
Right.
So coming back to my side, it feels really great because I have interviewed around 275 people so far across Maharashtra. So this KYT, Know Your Town, this concept clicked me that there are many local heroes which are there in every city or every town. And unfortunately, they are not covered, or they are not showcased or highlighted. But people are very curious and inquisitive to know about them.
True.
And I thought, let's showcase them, let's explore them. And I started interviewing them one by one. And I was very happy that I could explore many good success stories and many good insights about them. And all have really struggled hard. They have done a lot of innovations, and they have really done a lot of out of the box thinking, which I think budding entrepreneurs like you and me, and there are many people are there like us, who would really like to hear such kind of a content from them and take some inputs from them, and maybe help to grow our business in our own way. So this is how the journey of KYT started way back in 2013.
Okay, nice.
So earlier it was a weekly. I used to do every week.
Okay.
And then it was a tabloid first. So it was a
supplement to
Thane So it was a supplement to Thane Vaibhav. Okay. Because, so I didn't start a new product altogether at one go. So I first started as a supplement with Thane Vaibhav, because when I started such kind of a concept, that time people said, you are showcasing all positive things.
Mm-hmm.
And usually media is not meant to showcase positive things.
Right.
So media is more into sensationalism and breaking news. So would people really like to hear such positive content, positive side of people? So I thought, let's try. This is very unconventional, but I think someone has to take such initiative.
True.
And there are many people who want to actually see such kind of a content. And that is why I started as a supplement of Thane Vaibhav first. So for first 3-4 years, it was a supplement which went along with Thane Vaibhav.
Okay.
And then
you started it as a magazine.
As a magazine in 2016.
So going back to your early days, I mean, before you joined Thane Vaibhav, it was started by your grandfather, right? And then it was continued by your father. Now it's the third generation. This is the first time I'm actually talking to somebody who is into the third generation of a business, and I have utmost respect for you as an individual to join your family business to take this legacy ahead. But going back to early days, I believe you completed your bachelor's, and post that you completed your diploma in advertising and media.
Yeah.
So how did journalism take shape? I mean, how did that come to you? Like, was it something that you always wanted to do when you were, I mean, you were seeing your father work at, I mean, doing Thane Vaibhav on a regular basis, on a daily basis?
Yeah.
So did that motivate you? Was that the motivation factor for you to join Thane Vaibhav? Or was there something else that encouraged you to go ahead and do this?
So actually, I accidentally came into this. So it was like never decided that I'll join my own business. And I was never compelled to do so.
Okay.
So it was like always my dad gave me that freedom that whatever you want to do in your life, that's okay. It is not necessary that since I am pursuing my father's dream, it is not necessary that you also have to pursue the same. So he had given me that open hand. But then, my graduation has been in finance.
Okay.
Then I did a job with Edelweiss, which is a financial company, for almost 2 years.
Okay.
So while I was working with Edelweiss, so that time those television sets were there everywhere, and all the news channels were being telecasted over there, and they were all finance news channels. And constantly I could see the numbers coming up and down and all. So there used to be number crunching all the time.
Okay.
So that didn't excite me much, that number crunching, like constantly to be playing with the numbers or to reading them, hearing them.
You must be good at maths, I guess, right?
So I was good at maths.
Finance.
Yeah, so I was good at maths. But then the person who was taking the interview, so that fascinated me more. So that motivated me more. So one day I came back home and I told my dad that this job is not fascinating me, though it is paying me well and it will give me good prospects also in the future. But then I feel that I want to be something like that person, like meeting new people, interviewing them, knowing about them, writing about them.
Okay.
So he said, then you're meant for our job. So better you come back here and you start working with us. So, but my education was in English school.
Okay.
And our paper is in Marathi.
Right. Yeah.
So that was this difficulty, like a challenge for me, that to write and read Marathi. Because to be very honest with you, and I can confess this with you, that though I am from a family who comes up with a Marathi daily every day,
right,
but till graduation, I never read Marathi newspapers. So it was always like I read English
That's
papers.
A big confession to make.
Absolutely. But so that is the thing. So I was not very much well acquainted with Marathi.
Okay.
So he said, that's okay. You can handle the managerial part. And if you want, you can start something of English on your own. Because Thane is also changing.
True.
It is becoming more and more cosmopolitan. A lot of migrations are happening in Thane. So maybe now Thane would also require an English mouthpiece in some day near future. So he motivated me in that sense. And this helped me. So I started looking after the managerial part of Thane Vaibhav. And gradually my Marathi also improved. Little. That is what I would say. And then I started contributing in Thane Vaibhav as well. But then earlier I used to look only after the management part. And KYT was the first baby which I started with.
Nice. Super. So, great. I mean, Nikhil, that is really motivating and inspiring to know that your father actually encouraged you to start something of your own. Maybe be it in English, not necessarily be in. So I believe that is something that helped you to shape up your vision, right?
Yeah.
Also, just for my understanding, you come, like you said, you come from a finance background. Now you are a managing editor at Thane Vaibhav. What exactly is a profile of a managing editor in a Marathi daily newspaper? I mean, just for my understanding, even for our audience's understanding, what is your day-to-day like?
Yeah. So basically, being a managing editor, you have to manage the entire show. Like basically right from managing your reporters, from where the content comes, then editing the content, what is coming from the reporters, then overall designing and pagination of your pages, like how the layout has to be, which news has to be on the front page, back page, which article should be there on Saturday and Sunday in the editorial page. So overall editorial you have to look after. Then you have to also look after the sales part, marketing, which is very important.
Right.
Because the paper which we sell at ₹4 every day, it actually costs us ₹6.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So I think
to print that paper?
That paper.
Wow.
So I think it is the only business in the world, perhaps, like which is sold in loss every day. I don't think there is any other product in the world which is sold in loss. But then the newspaper have to be cheap. Being the fourth pillar of the democracy, it has to be affordable to everyone.
Wow.
So we can't charge paper at rupees 10 or 12, but abroad the papers are very costly. So anyone subscribing a paper is seen to be very elite.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is the case in foreign countries. But in India, it is a mass product and it has to be very cheap, just like a public transport. So basically, the difference of rupees 2 is which is what we have to recover. So every time, like this is a very popular thing which is said in our industry, that more the circulation, more the loss.
True.
And we have to recover these losses.
Okay, more the loss. Okay.
The loss.
Yeah.
So we have to recover this loss from the advertisement. So constantly, the role of a managing editor is how one can develop the business, how we can ideate new things, innovate new things, because everyone comes up with same kind of news, same kind of articles. So what are we giving different to the audience? Because there are more than 50,000 newspapers in entire India.
Okay.
So that's huge. And if I consider my market, because since we are operating only from Thane district and being the district newspaper, so there are around 50 odd newspapers in district only. So we are competing with all these newspapers and all are giving the same kind of news. So how are you making it different?
Okay.
So you have to constantly see that you have to innovate, you have to do a lot of events, a lot of activities, you have to make this media more interactive.
True.
It shouldn't be a one-way communication. It should be a two-way communication. So that is the role of a managing editor, that how innovative and how out of the box he keeps on thinking to make his brand more and more popular.
So if I understand correctly and very rightly said that I didn't know this economics of newspaper industry, and I guess rightly all our listeners and audience would be really keen to understand whatever the kind of newspaper that we get at home that costs us maybe 2, 3, 4 rupees, and the one who is publishing or is printing is actually printing it at a loss, right? So also, like you said, with innovation, with some kind of different aspect, and what kind of value can you give to the readers, because it is on a daily basis, and it's a never-ending job. It's a thankless job, if I ask to put it correctly, because the readers, it's like a daily feed for them. Without it, their day won't start, right? But for you to bring that content on a regular daily basis, it's quite a challenging job. And I can feel that pressure from your perspective. So other question is, like, do you, like Thane Vaibhav, like you said, it's a district based newspaper, and there are a lot of big newspapers who have come up with a daily supplement for the city, like maybe Thane Vrutant or Thane whatever. So all these bigger newspapers have their daily city based feeds. Do you plan to extend or your horizon outside Thane? Do you have plans that there will be a Mumbai Vaibhav or something like a Maharashtra Vaibhav? Because we would definitely like to see you doing that, and that is, I believe, we hope that is your plans as well. What is your take on that?
Yeah, so we'll just have a quick recap, like how this all came into existence, basically. So this paper was started by my grandfather in 1975. So currently we are in our 47th year. In this month only we'll be completing our 40th anniversary. 25th August is our anniversary day. So like my grandfather, when he was working with Maharashtra Times, and he also worked with Balasaheb Thackeray in Marmik magazine. So that time he came across some county newspapers which were there in foreign country, especially in Europe. So that time he felt that something like this county newspaper can be started in India as well. So he used to work with Maharashtra Times. So his office was at Mumbai at Times Group, but he stayed in Thane, and he used to feel very bad that many a times the news of Thane were not published or were not carried in Maharashtra Times. So that was because of space constraint. Because being a Maharashtra daily, you can't cover all the districts or all the cities in one newspaper. So that time he felt that there has to be a separate newspaper for Thane. So he was ridiculed at that time, because Thane was a very small town that time. And this kind of development, what Thane has been doing, and is doing today, like where I'm sitting right now, I can see the entire Thane from his house. So this kind of development, no one had speculated that time. And that is why even his resignation was not accepted by Times Group. He was said that you do trial for about 3-6 months and you can come back. But then he was very firm. He believed in his idea that no, something like this would definitely work. And he started his paper in 75. 95 he passed away. And around 85, between 85 and 90, my father joined him. My father was also working with Times of India for almost 20 years. So he
Okay.
worked as a district correspondent with them.
Mhm.
So he used to handle Thane and Palghar for Times of India that
Mhm.
time.
Mhm.
And after my grandfather passed away, he took over Thane Vaibhav completely.
Okay.
And then I joined him in 2013. So basically, a district paper that time was like
the
everyone,
vision.
like he had a vision. Everyone thought that time, why would Thane require a separate paper on its own? But now, if you see, everyone has a Thane edition.
Okay.
Even the chief minister is from Thane now. So
we'll talk on that. Yeah, definitely.
so Thane has got a great prominence, great significance, though it was under the shadow of Mumbai for all these years.
Right.
But Thane has significantly grown. Phenomenally, it has grown like anything. And when you ask me, do you want to grow Thane Vaibhav to Mumbai Vaibhav, Pune Vaibhav? So actually, Thane only itself has so much potential.
Mhm.
And I feel that Thane is yet to be tapped,
Okay.
yet to
Wow.
be explored.
Okay.
So because Thane, recently I heard and I came across that the most migrated city in entire India. So at number one position is Thane right now.
Yeah. Currently, when I had that figure, we have almost 1.5 crores of population.
Yeah, in Thane
So
district.
much so that now even Bhivandi is known as Upper Thane.
Yeah,
Because of the familiarity and the way Thane has grown bounds and leaps, because even Godbandha to Kalwa to all that extent is now considered as Thane, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, great point on that, and I firmly believe Thane is still a bigger market for you, and you can still tap that untapped market, because like you said, Thane is still growing, and I guess because of various reasons, like even the rates are cheaper when it comes to land rates or flat rates. They're cheaper when compared to Mumbai. So Thane is like a go-to city for people who want to get migrated, wants to work in Mumbai or something like that.
Yeah.
Great. I mean, good point on that, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
That you achieve whatever you have plans for Thane. My next question to you is basically, you're working. I mean, Thane Vaibhav is a newspaper, right? But you also started a digital channel, or maybe there is an e-newspaper for Thane Vaibhav. How do you perceive this fact that there is a lot of shift? Is there a shift in the digital e-paper? Are people actually looking for online newspapers or YouTube news?
Yeah.
Or they still prefer a standard handheld paper? Because I believe you must have felt that pain during COVID, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there were no newspaper going around, and people were obviously moved to online, and everything was online. Yeah. So what is your plan for that, and how do you see that this shift is going to change?
Right. So pre-COVID, print media was going really strong. So after COVID, as you rightly said, that all the print media has got affected to a great extent. But now after over a period of time, like 2021, we had COVID. But after that, the third wave and all, print media is again settling back. And so the readers are being scattered. Some like to read their news on mobile, some like to actually read it in the physical by hand, like in the newspaper. So all the readers are very scattered and all divided. So what we did was we also developed our app after COVID.
Okay.
So Thane Vaibhav also has an Android app.
Superb.
Yeah. So we have quite some downloads in that. Also the e-paper is there, which can be viewed from anywhere in the world.
Right.
So that actually helped us, because many Thanekars who have settled abroad, so now they also give their feedback, because they want to be connected with Thane.
Right.
What is happening in Thane, they also want to know.
Yeah.
So even they are reading it. So whatever the circulation which we lost in print, in physical, that we have compensated in digital now.
Okay.
So it is only the medium has changed, but the popularity or the quench for knowing what is happening in and around your town is the same. Okay. Rather, it has increased after COVID, because people are very curious to know what is happening in and around them. And many have become hyper local now. Like earlier it was local, but now it has become very hyper local. Like earlier they wanted to know overall what is happening in Thane, but they actually want to know what is happening in Pachpakadi, what is happening in Godbandar. Godbandar is again a wider term, but then what is happening specifically in Wagbel or Kasaradavli. And that is why we changed our total complex of our business. Like earlier we were covering overall Thane, but now we are going hyper local and we're doing micro reporting. So we have also encouraged people to be reporters with us. So we encourage citizen journalism.
Oh wow.
Anyone can be a journalist with us.
Okay.
So they can just send the news photographs, and they can just write 2 to 4 lines, and we just carry the news along with their name.
Okay.
So they also feel motivated.
True.
And they are actually helping us to promote this paper, because when any news is printed, especially of them, of their area, so that becomes viral like anything. So I actually I see this digital what expansion, what has happened, I actually see it as a boon, because it is actually helping the print to grow, because the print paper is getting more and more circulated.
Right.
So earlier, like even my father says the same thing, that he's writing editorial for last 40 years, but the kind of feedback which he gets now on his editorial is like immense, because it gets viral like anything, and people send you messages, and that is the kick
Right.
for journalists like us, that our work should be recognized. People should take cognizance of it, not just by the readers, but whatever you're printing, the cognizance should be taken by the bureaucracy, by the politicians, because ultimately it is all about the impact,
Right.
like how impactful you are. And that impact you will definitely get when the content becomes viral. So that is how, like after the digital thing, we are also into Facebook now, Instagram.
Facebook Live, Instagram Live.
Facebook Live is there.
Yeah, I was about to come to that. I've seen a lot of feeds these days on Instagram wherein a certain incidents that has happened has been reported on the spot. So this is where it came from. Like it was like citizen journalism.
Yeah.
So just for my clarity, how do you? I mean, is there some source or is there some way you validate that? Because if that is going on your channel, it affects your credibility, right? And these days, I mean, anybody with a camera can do anything. I mean, they can shoot anything or record anything and you can upload it. But if you're uploading it on Thane Vaibhav or any particular channel, that will affect your credibility. So is there some way you filter those videos
absolutely.
or so what do you do on that basis?
So usually the procedure is like, whenever any input comes from any citizen, so that we immediately get it checked from the local police station.
Okay.
So that is done very easily. So at times the news is like 99% the news is accurate, news is correct.
Okay.
Like we are not like encountered with fake news most of the times. 1-2% here and there the news is not that correct enough, so that we avoid. But then the citizens very transparently contribute everything, whatever is there. And they contribute all kind of news, like they give us maybe a lot of potholes are there within their surroundings, or some junction has a lot of bottlenecks always, or something like that kind of news, which are more to civic issues.
True.
They also give us positive stories also. Like if anyone is like who has stopped the CA exam in their society, so that kind of news we were not aware of earlier.
Right.
So civic issues sometimes, like some or the other way we come to know, but this kind of positive stories like we never got in touch with.
This is like micro blogging or micro achievements that happens in your neighborhood, but it is worth mentioning because even that is some kind of content that your readers might consume, because it is basically Thane. Like you said, you're going hyper local, that gives you more content, which is more consumption. Going to that, coming to the another point, which is like the way I discussed about citizen journalism. Sensationalism is not journalism, right? What is your view on that? Because these days a lot of news is twisted, turned, and because media is always the culprit. That is how it has been showcased, because TRPs or the way your consumption increases only when you do something differently or showcase something which is really not.
Right.
How does Thane Vaibhav ensure that sensationalism is not the way it is portrayed? So what are the values of Thane Vaibhav? And who said those? Did Milind Kaka, because I refer to him as Milind Kaka. So Milind Kaka, what kind of values did you learn from Milind Kaka, or how was Thane Vaibhav's vision in set?
So I'll give you a quick example, like what our values are. Just in one case, maybe you may be able to understand. Like during COVID, when everyone was printing and reporting that so many cases are found in so and so area. So my father called up an editorial meeting and he told all my reporters, including me, that we will not report or we will not make a headline of the patients found every day. We'll make a headline of how many patients have recovered every day.
Wow.
So that is what we did during entire COVID. And people really appreciated this kind of stand which we had. Maybe our sales may have got affected because many a times people definitely like to read more of like what is sensational and all.
Right.
But then we are okay with it because this is how we are. We are Thanekars. So we know the pulse of Thanekars, and like almost we know every one of them.
Right.
And to creating a panic like this, that is not in our blood and not in the blood of Thane Vaibhav as well. Right. So these are the principles which are set by my grandfather only, which are followed by my father, and we are also following the same.
Okay.
So we are not in that rat race of breaking news. So even when I was working with ABP News, Star Maza at that time, I almost worked for 3 years as a reporter over there. So even that time also, my father had told me, he had given me one advice that you break the news late, that's okay. Maybe your boss may scold you, he may fire you, etc., etc. But give correct news.
Okay.
Don't misguide the viewers or the readers because it creates unrest, it creates panic, and sometimes there are adverse effects about this.
True.
So that is how our stand has always been, and we love in this way. And that is why we feel more connected with people. And that is why we are not even afraid. Anyone can come to our office, we can meet them, we go to their offices. So there is a very healthy atmosphere everywhere in Thane.
Okay. Great. I mean, Nikhil, that is music to my ears because spreading positivity is something that you can do easily.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take much effort. It's like you can spread happiness for free, right?
Yeah.
And newspaper is one thing, like you said, during the unrest times of COVID, when everybody was in panic state, all that we heard on TV and newspaper, like this got spread because he touched here, यहाँ पे touch कर लिया तो ये हो गया, आज इतने deaths हो गए, आज इनको ये हो गया. But Thane Vaibhav took up that initiative, we will not spread or we will not publish anything negative and spread how many people got how many people got saved today. Kudos to that. Coming to another point that, like you said, Thane is a family to you, and that is how you perceive when you want to share your news. If you look at, there are a lot of businesses, like you said, which are into legacy businesses, and Thane Vaibhav is also one of them. So I think you and Julie, your sister, both work actively in day-to-day basis for Thane Vaibhav.
True.
So what kind of relationship is it, personal and professional? Because it's a family business. Milin Kaka, your wife, Julie, everybody is in the family in Thane Vaibhav office. So how does it work for you guys? How do you ensure that there is no professional and personal issues between all of this?
Yeah. So basically, Nasi, like when I was interviewing people for KYT, so that time I came across many success stories. And I also came across a few combinations like this, brother and sister. And they really make a great combination altogether. Okay. So Julie is not from our field, basically, my sister. So she was working with a corporate company, MNC, and she has also done her MBA in finance and all. But then she has a great passion for writing.
Just I was about to tell you this.
So that's there in the DNA.
Excellent content writer.
Yeah. So that's there in the DNA, basically. So, and again, she has a very strong attachment to what dad has done, what grandfather has done. So, and she always felt proud that I am continuing the legacy. And I just asked her, you also join us. So, and she left her corporate job about a few years ago. And she said, but what exactly my role would be? I said, you just write because you're very good at that. And we can develop a good content together. And that is how the birth of Art 65 also took place, my ad agency. So basically, Julie is contributing in KYT, Know Your Town, which is the English magazine, which comes monthly. So she writes there, and she has a team under her, which does all the reporting. And she also does content writing for all other clients who are there, like who are in healthcare or real estate. So we do content writing for them as well.
Okay.
So, but it is always great to have family members in your business.
Right.
So, because you as a team can do wonders together. Right. It's a synergy. It's a great synergy, and it's the best synergy one can ever have. So it's not 1 + 1 11. It's 1 + 1 111. I would say.
Wow, super.
So only thing is you have to step down at times. You have to have a healthy rapport with each other, and you have to respect each other. So that is the entire thing. If you follow this very rightly, then definitely this combination works a lot.
Great. Superb, Nikhil. I mean, that is so much guidance and motivation to all the legacy family businesses around us. because a lot of time these things do evolve and take a bad shape when it comes to understanding, and like you said, you take a step down, understand each other's
Yeah, yeah.
points, give space to each other's opinions, because everybody has their own set of
Right.
thinking, right? Coming to that, so Thane Vaibhav has been there, like you said, since 1975.
Yeah.
So almost 25 and 47 years.
47
So you
years.
must, I mean, you joined in 2013, and you must have seen your share of struggles with the
Yeah.
business in Thane Vaibhav or KYT. So how did you manage to? Can you share one example wherein you saw a struggle and you managed to keep up with it? What did you do? What was the motivation for to being so resilient about it?
Yeah. So like when I joined my business, so that time, as I told you, that I'm not from journalism,
Right.
basically. So I did my master's later. When I decided to join my business, then I thought कि कुछ तो डिग्री होना चाहिए ना जर्नलिज्म का. Then
Credibility
नहीं आएगा नहीं तो. So then I did my master's in advertising and PR and journalism later. But my graduation was in finance.
Okay.
So when I joined, so that time, like I always loved people. I always like interacting with people, meeting new people, and marketing fascinates me a lot.
Okay.
Like growing business and meeting new people and all. So when I came and when I studied my paper, so that time I realized that we are not getting commercial advertisements. We are only getting political and government advertisements mostly.
Okay.
And we are not getting that kind of commercial response what the other papers are getting. And even that is a very big market. So I wanted to tap that. And so I just went to Ramarthi Road and Gokhale Road, and I started meeting one-to-one every shopkeeper, retailer. So one of the shopkeeper, he told me that, yes, we can give you ads. But he said me in Hindi that आप इतने साल से हो तो आपने हमें क्या दिया है, तो पहले कुछ दो फिर लो.
अच्छा.
So that was the piece of thing which I heard from him, and then I realized that yes, I have to definitely give them something. But because whatever we were carrying news in our paper, it was more of politics, crime, government, all of that. And yeah, definitely these people were not covered that much.
Okay.
So I started covering them, doing write-ups about them, and almost I covered all the Ramarthi Road, Gokhale Road retailers. I wrote about every one of them, like their journey, like how they started, who all is operating right now, what all varieties are there according to their businesses.
Okay.
Like they were sadi walas, dress walas, mithai walas, everyone, mobile shops, etc., etc. So first I wrote about them, that we carried in our paper, and then eventually I started getting ads from them.
Oh, wow.
So that was a PR exercise which when I came here and joined business, so that time I did. So it was not very easy to get ads, though a paper being so established for so many years. Though they also admitted me that they have seen their 10th standard results in Thane Vaibhav.
Acha.
Ha. So because that was a trend that time, that 10th ka results and 12th ka results used to be published in the paper.
Okay.
And all have seen it.
Okay.
So many of them admitted that we are readers, but we are not your advertisers.
Okay.
Because we don't feel like giving you advertisement. So we like to read your paper, but then you have to do something for us. So you have to give some innovation, give some ideas. So do something out of the box for us. Then only we'll do some advertisements with you. And that is how we started innovating, giving them new ideas. And it really made wonders. So I would like to share a few of the ideas which we did. So like I was pitching one healthcare client.
Okay.
And I asked him, like, can you give me an ad in the paper? So he said, I don't want to give a plain ad because we have already given it in other leading papers.
Okay.
What different you can do for us? So I said, what is the topic? So he said, we want to create awareness about iron.
Okay.
Iron. So I said, what are the statistics? So he said, every second woman in Thane is iron deficient.
Okay.
So you only develop that and publish it, but get it approved from us. I said, okay. So I said, can we do one thing? I'll just keep the front page of my Thane Vaibhav blank, the entire page blank, and I'll just attach 2 khajurs on it. So these are dates.
Okay.
And then there will be PTO, that is please turn over to the page 2. And then the Iron Woman campaign was launched, that these 2 khajurs are from us to your family. So that was a letter which we addressed to each and every male of Thane.
Okay.
So that was written by Thane Vaibhav.
Okay.
So these 2 khajurs are for your wife, maybe for your mother, daughter, sister, anyone. But remind her to eat 2 khajurs every day from tomorrow, so that her hemoglobin level remains good.
Okay.
And this is how we created awareness about iron movement.
Nice.
So you have to be very innovative. Then only people give you business. Then only people work with you. And then I'm still working with him. So such kind of ideas and innovative things we have to constantly do. One more thing which I would like to share, that there is a one very old supermarket. Like we all know the big supermarkets of Thane, but Thane's first supermarket, it's Apna Bhandar at Vartak Nagar.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's a very old and first supermarket of Thane. I approached them for an ad. So he said that, yaar, supermarket ka kya ad karenge? And he was like, yaar, we are the leading and we are the first, but still we are not known by much people. So I can give you the ad, but do something different for us. So people at times come to us with their issues, grievances. And I also consider our profession as like a medical profession only, like an OPD. Like people come with us with their own set of problems. Only
You
thing
provide
is we don't-
solutions.
Yeah.
You provide innovative advertisement related solutions.
Yeah. So, or we address their things through newspaper by giving them the press coverage, what they require.
Okay.
So, I told them, let's do one thing, that people constantly come to me and they tell me that the auto drivers at times they refuse short fares. So we'll do a campaign on that. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll launch a Ho Rickshaw campaign.
Oh, Maratitla ho.
Maratitla Ho. Ho na, it's a Ho. Ho Rickshaw campaign. And we'll appeal all the passengers and all the rickshawalas, all the passengers, that whoever rickshawala says you Ho, take a selfie with him and send it to us, along with his name and photograph and number.
Okay.
And every day, 5 lucky auto drivers will reward them with groceries from Apna Bhandar.
Wow. So it's like a cross integration.
And
Helps the public.
yeah.
Free advertising for your Apna Bhandar.
So they used to come to Apna Bhandar
Okay.
and they used to get their groceries from them. We used to click their photographs and all. But due to which Apna Bhandar became very popular, became very visible. So that kind of thing we constantly keep on doing with our advertisers.
So how many rickshawalas, or what kind of campaign, what were the numbers you achieved with that?
So 650 rickshawalas participated in this.
Super.
It was launched by the Transport Commissioner of Maharashtra, Mr. Shekhar Chinne. And then when we completed 100 rickshawalas, then we had invited, who is the Chief Minister right now, Mr. Eknath Shinde sahab. But that time he was the PWD minister. So we invited him that you please give the groceries to them.
Okay.
And he actually sat in one of the rickshaws and he gave the groceries to them. So that was a very kind gesture from him.
Yes.
So constantly such things are what we are doing. And
So innovation
we are
and
getting good results.
Innovation is actually what help you
Yeah.
pass through all the difficult issues. You found a solution within the problems through innovation.
Yeah.
Great.
So struggle is always there because see, competing with big papers, it's a Herculean task.
Right.
So, and basically we can't match that. We can't match, like at times I used to be compared about the printing quality, like the printing is not that great. So we have tried to match as much as we can with the bigger players. Okay. But then where we are falling short is in terms of circulation. So then that is compensated through innovations.
Okay.
So I have found a solution for that. Otherwise, then we would have kept struggling because then it is very difficult to get advertisements.
And you really can't match or keep comparing yourself to the ones who are established and there for almost 100 years. And the way of work culture is almost corporate.
Yeah.
It's like Thane Vaibhav has some ethics, has some vision when it comes to being a very city oriented, or spreading positivity, helping the local neighborhood or the local businesses. That is what the entire agenda of Thane Vaibhav is, right?
Yeah.
Great. Coming to our next point, actually, you mentioned that Thane Vaibhav was primarily earlier covering only government related, politics related, or maybe crime related. So coming to that point, so I have seen recently that you have started a campaign, 1 minute campaign, which was inaugurated by our Chief Minister from Thane, Mr. Eknath Shinde ji. So how difficult is it to talk to him or address with him, or have a meeting with him, because earlier he was the PWD minister, right now he is the Chief Minister. How difficult is it to get conversations with Mr. Eknath Shinde ji, and how does it matter? How do you ensure that the same kind of comfortness is there when you do something of your own? So
Correct. Right. So, there is a great comfort level, basically, and hats off to him. We have seen him, like, he being an MLA, then being a minister, first a PWD, then the UD minister, and now the chief minister.
Right.
But he has remained the same. Still, he is a part of every Thane Vaibhav event. Whenever we invite him, though we don't disturb him now much.
He must be
So
very-
now we only call him very occasionally. But then whenever we invited him for any initiative, so he has always come. And he likes such initiatives. I would like to give you one example. I had approached him in 2014-15 at that time. Can we do a cleanliness drive for Thane?
Okay.
So in which we'll ask the societies to compete each other in terms of cleanliness.
Okay. So it's
And
like
the-
inter-society competition.
Inter-society neat and clean competition. He said it's a very good idea and let's do that. And you won't believe, we surveyed almost 1,500 societies, out of which 100 top societies were selected. And I had invited him to give away the prizes. So I thought sir would be there to give the top 10. But he said, no, I would like to give all 100 because I would like to interact with them, because all are doing a commendable job. And he stayed there for entire 2 hours at Kashinath Ghanekar.
Wow.
So, and again, he took selfies also with them. Like, he didn't disturb, or he didn't made anyone upset. He pleased everyone that time. So it is a great rapport which we share with him. And again, then we one more event which we did was which was about local representatives which we have, like we call them corporators or nagar sevaks.
Right.
So, since our daily caters entire Thane district, and if you see like Thane, Kalyan, Mira Bhayandar, Navi Mumbai, Badlapur, Ambernath, Shahpur, Murbad, if you see all of them, then there are around 750 corporators. So we thought, let's do an event called Mazha Nagar Sevak.
Acha.
And in which we appealed all the Nagar Sevaks that you send us whatever work you have done so far, and the top performing corporators would be awarded by the hands of Eknath Shinde.
Okay.
So that was a big risky proposition, because to bring all of them together, bring all the 750 together at Gadkari Rangaitan, and only to select top 100 out of them and get them felicitated by the hands of Shinde sir.
Okay.
So, but we did that. And that time also he said, "Arey, हे आपल्याला हे करशील ना तू नीट, कारण तू या सगळ्यांना एवढं बोलवतोय. So how is the judging process and all, etc." So I said, no, we have appointed the former IPS, IAS, IRS people who have served Thane. So who are in our committee and who will go and who will do the inspection and all, and who will give us the report. And of course, again, the credibility of Thane Vaibhav.
True.
So we have been always unbiased. So that is how we conducted that event. And again, he stayed back to felicitate all the 100 corporators at that time also at Gadkari Rangaitan. So that was a endeavor to create healthy competition among the corporators, because it is actually going to help the citizens. The voters, basically. Right. And many good work was showcased. Actually, at times it is very unfortunate that many times we blame them that they don't work. But then when we did this exercise, we came across that a lot of good initiatives are taken by corporators which were never highlighted by any press, including us.
Okay.
So
I was about to ask you that. So, like you said, you are a medium for the political parties as well as the public, because obviously you're showcasing their work and the readers are the public who is going to consume that content. Right. How do you ensure there is a balance in terms of journalism, that you ensure the positive side as well as the negatives? And what makes that part of your newspaper so valued or so different when it comes to other newspapers? How do you ensure that?
So, see, when we are reporting anything, we ensure, that's a thumb rule, that both the sides have to be represented in the story.
Right.
We can't just print it one-sided.
Right.
So that is the thumb rule, and which we are maintaining still now. Like, whoever new any reporter is inducted in our organization, so we tell him this, that do you report the news 3 days later, but don't give that excuse that he didn't receive my call, he disconnected my call, he's unreachable. Then wait for that. Okay. Because we can't just print it one-sided, because we don't know the other side of the story. So it is always necessary to know the both sides of the story. And when you print both sides of the story, then if we criticize someone, still people take it very positively,
Right.
because they know
Because
that
you're unbiased.
you're unbiased, and they also know that sometime, even some positive story was also printed about them.
Right.
It is not always that negative is printed about them.
Right.
So that we have maintained, and we are continuing to do it.
Great. So, like, if I take that part of it, like, so journalistic integrity is something that needs to be ensured, is
Yeah.
taken care of all the time, and that is what actually helps you stay grounded, because your crowd, your readers value your content because it is unbiased,
Yeah.
and the integrity is maintained. And I am pretty sure you and your future generations to come will ensure that.
Yeah.
Thane Vaibhav and KYT has a loyal community, right? Because you have started so many campaigns in the past. I have seen so many competitions or cricket associations that you're sponsored. There are so many campaigns that we have done. So this 1 minute Maharashtra that you recently
Yes,
launched
yes.
was something that caught my eye, because a
Yes.
very common friend of ours, Shri,
Yes.
so he was featured in that campaign. So I would like to understand what was it actually, and
Yeah.
it was inaugurated by our CM
Yeah.
Shri Eknath Shinde. So yeah, can you mention about
Yeah.
that?
So basically, this initiative, like last year when CM sir inaugurated our new office, so that time I had presented him one concept of 1 minute Thane.
Okay.
So he loved that concept. So he said, let's do it 1 minute Maharashtra. So that concept is basically that I feel that the role of media is to involve people. We have to give them some agenda. Then only people get involved, participate in the same. People like to participate.
Mhm.
So it is not that people are not bothered, not interested. ऐसा नहीं है कि अरे people have lost hopes.
Mhm.
But only thing is that we have to consider them. म्हणजे त्यांना विश्वासात घेणं जे आपण म्हणतो ना, people like if
Feel
their
them that
opinion is
they are a part of the community.
Yeah.
They are the stakeholders.
yeah.
Right.
So if their opinion is count, like if they feel that their opinion is count, then they feel nice.
Right.
So that, but their opinion has to be heard,
Mhm.
has to be printed somewhere.
Mhm.
So this campaign 1 minute Maharashtra, basically this concept is that if every Maharashtrian gives 1 minute of his day towards cleanliness, then we generate 13 crore good minutes of cleanliness every day for Maharashtra.
Wow.
So we want to imbibe in every Maharashtrian that we have to devote only 1 minute of a day. Now people asked me in the beginning that 1 minute mein kya hoga? So we have shortlisted 100 things which can be easily done in a minute. And in that video, we have showcased that only.
Right.
Basically, that it is up to us how we dedicate that 1 minute. So like, as our common friend Shri is also there in that. So one of the thing which we have shown in that film is that when we are just walking on the beach,
yeah.
and it is like unintentionally the bottle is thrown after
Yeah,
drinking the water. But
True.
instead of throwing it, if we keep it in a bag, so then we have dedicated our 1 minute for Maharashtra that day, because we have kept the beach clean at least to some extent.
Mhm.
So whatever is there in our hand, we have to do it. Like if we are going to buy grocery, so if we carry our cloth bag from our house, then we have at least prevented plastic for that day.
True.
So we have given 1 minute. So apart from cleanliness, also we can give 1 minute in a big way. Like I have seen many a times, like for stories we travel by buses and TMT buses and all. So I have seen that passengers and the conductor, they argue at times for change, for chiller paise.
Okay.
So if we keep in our mind and if we carry the change while boarding a bus, then that will actually keep the atmosphere cool in the bus, and it will help the conductor to work better.
Mhm.
And it will also help the passenger to spend a good day.
Right.
So these are very small things which can easily contribute towards the society, which can be easily done in a minute. So that is what we are trying to portray in that.
So have you portrayed all these 100 situations?
We are going to do that in near future. First, we have taken only cleanliness. So it is like 1 minute for cleanliness, 1 minute for safety, 1 minute for environment. So like this, we are going to do a lot of different campaigns along with Shinde sir.
That's a great initiative, yeah. I mean, I wasn't aware about this, so there are so many facets to it. Like there, you will be showcasing about every other nuances what happen in our day-to-day lives.
Yeah.
Kudos to that. I would like to actually end this podcast on a very great note. You are a visionary journalist. You're managing the entire Thane Vaibhav yourself. Your family is with you. I would like you to address our audience who would like to enter this industry. maybe start a newspaper, maybe it's like competitor to you, but also kind words from you, because this podcast was started with the sole intention to drive our youth. Because like you said, you were from the finance industry, but you didn't have that drive to work there. But something pulled you towards your family business, and you moved all the way, you changed all your field, you did your masters in journalism, you had a new career. So for the youth of India has to know that there are so many other alternative options. If they are not happy with something, they can start something of their own, they can learn something. So that is the whole agenda, or to do this podcast. And thank you for coming on
Thank
such
you.
a short notice.
I also enjoyed
It was a pleasure to talk to you. So maybe some kind few inspiring keywords to our audiences, so that it can help them in their career or in their entrepreneurial journey.
Yeah. So basically, like I would like to tell all of them, like if you may be worried about your career, that what I'll be doing 5 years down the line or 10 years down the line, then just go with the flow, because it was never decided that I'll land up in media. So it happens. Only thing is that you have to be extremely hardworking. You have to be very alert, very vigilant, and you have to accept the changes what are happening in and around you. Because if you don't accept the transitions which are happening in and around you, then you may become obsolete. So for that, you have to keep yourself always updated what is happening. Always be very creative. I like many people tell me that creativity is inborn, or it is like genetic and all. I feel every human is creative.
Okay.
Only thing is that we have to push the brain towards creativity, and keep reading like what others are doing of your field, basically what other people are doing, what other innovative things they are doing. So we also get some idea, some hint from that as well, and we try to do something else out of it. So one has to be a very voracious reader, basically, like keep reading, constantly keep reading, keep following people, uh, keep reading. Hearing such podcast also makes a huge difference.
Right.
Basically, it definitely inspires you a lot. I constantly keep on seeking such kind of content from here and there.
Okay.
At least may not be the entire interview, maybe a half, maybe a glimpse of that, but then it definitely helps you, because it helps you to retrospect like
True.
what actually you're doing. Maybe some correction is required here and there. So constantly being updated with all the things happening around them is the key to success. And if anyone is having their own family business, I would request them that continue the legacy, because uh, continuing the legacy is a different
Challenge of
happiness,
its own.
different. Yeah, it gives you a different satisfaction altogether. So maybe monetarily it may not motivate you that much, maybe, but the kind of satisfaction which you get, which your ancestors have started and which you're continuing that, so that is a great pleasure altogether. So that's my piece of advice. Like anyone if wants to start something like this, newspaper or any media portal or any medium, such a kind of a thing, so he has to be very innovative, and so he has to be constantly for searching for such ideas which are happening in and around him, and do something different, do something out of the box. Don't do conventional, let's
Okay.
do unconventional. Like that is the key. Be unconventional is the secret formula.
Right.
Uh,
Great piece of advice, Nikhil. Thank you for all those resourceful insights, because that is actually a key to somebody who is not from the industry. You
Yeah.
know the nuances, you know what helps, what not, and you mentioned so much gold valued information in this podcast. I'm pretty sure whoever wants to be in this industry or is from Thane would definitely
Yeah,
love
yeah.
to hear this. Thank you for coming. So I would like to end this podcast on a great note. If you like such resourceful content, then please subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon. Also, this is Pratik Pai signing off. Thank you.